the assets owned jointly, so that each one of you can utilize that 10,100 capital exemption, which means as a couple it's really 20,200.
200, right.
Yes.
So Sammy, being a high rate taxpayer that you are, earning over 150,000, he's paying 50% tax on that. So what have they done to the higher rate tax? Is that still at 50%?
Yeah, it is still 50%, but you know, if you are earning 150,000 pounds, you are not going to get any personal allowances. That has disappeared.
Ah.
So anybody who starts to earn over 100,000 pounds, the allowances are slowly whittled away.
Right.
When you get to about 112,950, you are not going to get any personal allowances whatsoever.
Well, that's why I'm here. I need to get some advice from the experts on the personal allowance and how I can take less from the business as possible. But my concern as a businessman and owning a PLC company is, how's the emergency budget going to affect my business? Corporation tax, has that changed?
Yes. Yes.
Importing products from the Far East, how's that going to affect?
Well, let's look at the
Sammy,
first tax, the corporation tax which you have mentioned. Yes, the corporation tax for small businesses, and small is defined with profits of between about 300,000. That tax rate is going down from 21 to 20%. So it's a reduction of one percentage
Not
point.
that huge.
Well, every little bit helps,
Yeah.
you know. You got to see it in the context of where the country is, which is, as I said, has got a massive deficit, and that deficit has to be reduced. But I think my personal view on this is that it's a step in the right direction. So it's a reduction from 21 to 20% for small businesses. And if you are a larger business, then there is a reduction as well. It will be effective from April 2011. The corporation tax rate will come down from 28 to 27%, and the following year it will be 26%, then the following year 25%, until it comes down to 24%.
So they call it a taper, don't they? Taper
Slowly,
down.
they're slowly bringing it down over a 3-4 year period. And I think if we look at it from the country's point of view, it will hopefully attract more businesses to set up here within the UK. And if more businesses are set up here, of course, there hopefully will be less unemployment, more people will find jobs. And over a longer period of time, if it picks up, then the rates of whether it's corporation tax, whether it's income tax, they would be going down.
And Sammy, you import a lot of electrical goods, so how will that affect you? You know?
Well, that's what I want to know, basically, because, I mean, for me, I can reclaim the VAT, but then I sell directly to businesses as well as I sell to consumers. And, you know, directly to consumers, you're charging them 20%, so effectively, for every £100 you're charging, £20 is going to the government as VAT. So that's not going to be very good, is it?
No, VAT is a consumer tax. Having said that, VAT here is 20%. VAT is a European Union tax, so you'll find it in other European Union countries as well. And 20%, while it is high, it is not that high. For example, Romania, a week or 2 weeks ago, introduced VAT at 24%.
Oh.
And if you look at some of the mainland European countries, their VAT rates are higher than the UK. So UK was comparatively at a lower rate, 17.5%, but it has had to be increased by the Chancellor to 20% in order to recoup some of the deficit.
Could you, for example, import to a lower VAT rate country and then bring the goods across? Would you be charged a difference in the UK? Or if you was a higher in a different country, would you get a reduction for if it's 26-30% in a different country?
No, you pay the VAT here. For
Yes.
example, if you are a VAT registered trader and you're buying something from another European Union country, they would ask you for your VAT number.
Right.
And they would not charge you VAT. You would pay VAT here. So that's how, with what
so
they
you
call
pay the
interstate
local,
trading. Local
country,
VAT, yes.
right.
They call it interstate trading.
Interstate trading.
And of course
I
you have
something
to,
there.
and you, of course, you have to keep a record of what you're buying and what you're selling, because that has to be reported to HM Revenue and Customs on the VAT form.
That's when you bring it into the country?
Yes, even when you bring it and even when you sell it.
Right. So wouldn't it be wise to set up a company outside of the UK, and then that can sell directly to the end consumer, like a home shopping?
Yes, but
is
you
that
see,
possible to
from
do?
just
So that way you're not a UK company.
no. You can still be a UK company if the company is being controlled and managed from the UK. Then you are a UK company for corporation tax purposes. Yeah, nice try, Sammy.
Well,
Yeah,
I always try.
We're trying to think of
Ways to avoid tax.
avoid,
yeah, of course.
avoiding or
Tax
reducing, reducing.
The easy
Yes,
way.
But you know what? If you are not UK resident,
Yes.
and there are individuals who do trade with the UK, if they're not UK resident, they can set up an offshore company, and if their offshore company buys and sells from offshore and is managed and controlled from offshore, then it is not going to be liable to UK corporation taxes, because it's not managed or controlled from the UK. It is not based in the mainland UK.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's why people have accounts in the British Virgin Islands, and
Offshore-
Cayman
offshore
Islands,
accounts,
and
yeah.
all this and all that.
Yeah,
But it's true, they're for bigger people.
They are really for bigger people. There is no restriction in having offshore accounts. People have this misconception that they've got this offshore account. No, there is absolutely no restriction. The thing is, whatever account you have, whatever you earn on it, if you are UK resident, then you have to declare it in your tax returns. It's as simple as that.
Right,
You know.
right. Just be honest and truthful about everything. Keep
Yes.
your paperwork strictly legal.
That's right.
We're not promoting anything illegal here. Everything strictly by the book.
Absolutely, yes.
But there are, I won't say loopholes, but there are ways of tax planning
Yes.
to reduce and mitigate some of that.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. As I said, and I repeat, that tax avoidance is quite legal. It is tax evasion which is illegal. So yeah, you can plan your tax affairs in such a way that you minimize your tax liability, which is quite fair. We spoke about the personal allowances,
Yes.
which are available.
Yes.
That's one way. There are other things as well. For example, you can have a company pension scheme, and that company, whatever contributions within limitations which it pays, it will be deducted as a business expense
Okay.
for the company, and you will benefit out of it when you attain the age of 55 or even later, when you start taking the pension, and the pension fund itself is growing tax-free.
And what about medical care? Because some people have medical care as well as their pension and tax.
No, medical care, if the company is providing you with medical care,
Yes.
it is what they call is a taxable benefit.
Right.
Yeah. So it is something which is taxable. It is not tax-free. But there are certain benefits which are tax-free. For example, if the company provides you with a mobile phone, that mobile phone is a tax-free benefit
I see.
if it's available to you as the employee. You might even use it privately to make private calls. It is currently not taxable as a benefit. And I mentioned earlier as well, if you have traveled here on business in your car, you can claim 40p a mile tax-free for your mileage.
So yeah, tax planning is so very, very important. It's good for people like you to go into businesses and companies and give them that sort of advice on how they can save money as well as
But
and claim what they can.
Tamkin, this is wonder, but there is something very interesting in the budget
Right.
on businesses and new startup businesses in particular. It is not applicable to London or the southeast of England. Not southeast of London. I know we come from
I was
southeast.
thinking southeast.
It's London
Southeast of
and
the
southeast
country.
of the country. It's not applicable here.
Right.
But say people who are based in, say, West Midlands, for sake of argument, if they set up a new business, they will be, and provided they have got, it's a small business really, less than 10 people, any new business, any new employee which they take on, they will not have to pay national insurance of £5,000 per employee.
So the first £5,000 they will not have to pay,
Yeah.
and then after that they will start.
Yes.
That's very good. And
Yeah.
what was it before? Before it was from zero.
Yes, they
started-
had to pay. So £5,000 effectively you are saving in your national insurance per employee. Now this is for new businesses, and this is in qualifying areas. So we have to look at the final details. Unfortunately, it does not cover London, as I mentioned, or southeast of the country or the east of the country. So the government is actually trying to encourage new businesses to be set up in those parts of the country where there is perhaps slightly